Hello and welcome to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament weekly broadcast. This is Nightcat, and I will be your host for today. Starting us off, we have a little bit of ZVZ AI action on Python. We've got Microwave spawning as the blue Zerg at about the 7 o'clock position. And we've got Steamhammer at around the 8 o'clock position as the orange Zerg. So it looks like Steamhammer going ahead and Overlord scouting to the top right. Meanwhile, Microwave, I don't know where. Oh, okay. He's going to about the middle. Actually, that's a pretty decent direction if you don't want to scout this near spot. It's probably going up this way, but if you're heading towards like this middle, then you could go either way there. But it is drone scouting. They're both drone scouting at this point, so sees that not there. And then drones do pass each other here. And now gonna go ahead, it looks like, so Microwave is scouting this one first, and then gonna go ahead and scout where Steamhammer is, and Steamhammer is doing similar thing where it is scouting here, and now coming down here. So we do have Microwave with a batch of Zerglings out here. We've got about 6 Zerglings, it looks like. Let me turn that on there. And Steamhammer has similar amounts of Zerglings. It looks like Steamhammer, though, is going for a quick lair here. So sort of like what we saw in a ZVZ that Chobo casted last week, we have one Zerg going for tech and the other Zerg going for a higher number of Zerglings. You know, I can't remember if it was these exact 2 Zergs or not, but now Microwave seeing the sunken there, quickly realizing, okay, I don't quite have the Zerglings for this. But now, interestingly, while the Spire is coming down, Microwave is going for an expansion. So Microwave going to be in a bit of trouble here if it doesn't get any anti-air. I don't see an evolution chamber coming down. If there was an evolution chamber also coming down right now, no, it is getting its lair now. And there's the evolution chamber. So I don't know if the spore colonies will be able to get up in time. Steamhammer, meanwhile, having a pretty even numbers here in Zerglings, just less than 3. Or now we're less than 1. So not too bad here, and that extra sunken, and now the Mutalisks are underway. We do have our spore colonies, so the spore colony will hit in time. Nicely timed there by Microwave. But we have only got one at the main, so this natural here, okay, now we're starting it, but the Mutalisks are out, so the Mutalisks could find this natural at a timing where it's going to be a bit vulnerable, but instead they're just doing this little dance over here at the main. Not quite able to get in range to attack the drones, so probably could pick these drones off if it really wanted to. Might be waiting for a bit more Mutalisks maybe, but you could take some hits to take out these drones here, which might be something that some AIs may suffer with, is that, you know, it's hard, and one of those things that makes it hard to get really good Mutalisk control with an AI is knowing, yes, I'll take some hits, I can't win this outright, but I will score some worker kills, and that's totally worth taking a few hits. But that sort of logic is difficult to work into an AI. And so right now we've got Microwave is teching up. Looks like getting a second evolution chamber. So probably we're seeing, we're seeing Carapace. Now we're seeing melee attack. So it looks like Microwave here did get the Spire, but I don't see any Mutalisks being made or out on the field. So it looks like Microwave has just got that as an option. Potentially get some Scourge or something. Meanwhile, now we've got Steamhammer going for an expansion as well, bringing the Mutalisks back, getting a good number of kills on those Zerglings. The Zerglings being forced to run back. Now we do have a sunken colony here, another sunken colony, but yeah, we're gonna have to replace some of those Zerglings because the sunken colony alone probably will not handle this amount of Zerglings from Steamhammer. Now we do have the Mutalisks diving in, taking some of those worker kills that it could have taken earlier. And going up against, and if you notice too, it was going up against the spore colonies. So it's like when it's decided, okay, I have enough to kill these spore colonies, that's when I'll dive in. At least that's the way it looks. Now we do have some Scourge chasing Microwave's Mutalisks here, able to get a Mutalisk kill off. got some Zergling fighting. We've got Mutalisks diving in here. It looks like Steamhammer getting a third even now and its second gas. And so Microwave really just kind of forced to turtle in here for right now. I'm curious what its next tech is going to be when it can afford to do that. Kind of keeping an eye on the mini-map here. It's looking like we've got more Zergling reinforcements coming in for Steamhammer. We've got Scourge. We've got more Mutalisks underway. Microwave looking to increase his Mutalisk count. He's currently even with Steamhammer, but Steamhammer does have the couple of Scourge. Or more than a couple, I think. Scourge, yeah, there's a little bit of a cloud there. And they're diving in, and oh, they all hit one Mutalisk. Not really effective there in their usage. A lot more gas spent by Steamhammer for that than Microwave. Microwave doing a little bit of pushing back here, but the ground army being forced back a bit here, and now the Mutalisk cloud rejoining. So the Scourge are landing some hits, but it seems like when the Scourge are able to grow a bit more. Let's see. Okay, we are going to replace it back a bit further than I'd like to see, because we're not going to get that nice mineral line coverage. But oh, nice Mutalisk control there. I think only one or, well, now a second one just fell to the Scourge there. So very cool to see. Now we got this chasing back to the Spore Colony here. Meanwhile, we are now seeing the Queen's Nest from Steamhammer. Steamhammer has been able to get this third gas going here, and that's all this third base is doing. Steamhammer really needs that gas with all of the gas-heavy units that they are deploying in this sortie. Nice try there by that Mutalisk to stay alive, but just not quite able to do it. Nice moves there by both Mutalisk clouds handling that Scourge. Now trying to dive in, for pushing back, but this but Steamhammer is just able to get this nice production of Scourge going where it can't, Microwave can't quite hang out in Steamhammer's base for a long period of time. Steamhammer is getting some Spore Colonies, so I think all these Overlords are hanging out over a Spore Colony. Yep, that's what it looks like. We've got more back and forth. There is a Mutalisk here taking some free shots on the Zerglings, trying to lower their numbers a bit. So we got a Queen's Nest, but we don't have a hive just yet for Steamhammer. Oh, and now, just as I say that, the hive is started, so we're going to be going up to hive tech. But Microwave just not able to bust out of this yet. Does have the superior Mutalisk numbers. But, oh man, that was devastating on the workers, and I was a little late to react to that, but wow. Down to 14 workers now, getting its Queen's Nest here on 2 bases. That was a lot of worker kills there for Steamhammer, and that was this Spore Colony here being placed a little further back, opening up that mineral line to those Mutalisks. And oh, the Ensnare slowing down the Mutalisks and the Scourge, so they can't exactly run. Nice usage of Ensnare there. Leaving the Mutalisks open to the Scourge, which are now chasing. Back to the main, another Mutalisk gonna fall, and the Zerglings running rampant in the natural here, being forced back by the Mutalisk Cloud, and now the Mutalisks of Steamhammer diving in on these Spore Colonies, not able to do a lot of damage, but taking out some more workers. Worker numbers were starting to climb back up for Microwave, now back down to 15. And the Mutalisks being forced to back off a bit. So these Mutalisks having to do double duty here. They're having to force back these Zerglings, which then opens up the main for Steamhammer's Mutalisks to dive in. But then when the Mutalisks move over to the main, that opens up this natural here to the Zerglings who are going to dive in on this Spore Colony, take it out, and then quickly exit out. Meanwhile, the Mutalisks here contemplating diving in against more. But we do have a Greater Spire underway now for Steamhammer, so we might see some Guardians and or Devourers come out onto the field. Nice, now the Mutalisk army has joined the Zergling army there for just a moment to help make it get a little bit closer here, and now we have Devourers underway. A little bit of a vulnerable position to morph them. The Scourge could just go and kill that cocoon, but the Mutalisks could just kill the cocoon, but they're kind of just ignoring it, allowing that Devourer to finish. The Queen was picked off there by Microwave. Microwave now getting its own hive here. And yeah, the Devourer's not going to be very good at dodging Scourge. But if they can get their Acid Spores enough on the Mutalisk Cloud, that would really help with Steamhammer here. Now we have an Ultralisk Den, it looks like, under construction. And the Natural being overrun by Zerglings here. Not having to pull the Mutalisks back into the Fend. I don't think he lost too many drones in that, surprisingly. I'm not sure exactly what the Zerglings were focused on. And now as the Mutalisks go into the main, we have again the Zerglings coming here into the Natural and getting a Spore Colony in there instead of a Sunken. So Microwave here now trying to get into this main here, but the Mutalisk Cloud's just being a little bit hesitant to actually engage. Now Steamhammer, oh, I thought he's going to dive in and lower that worker count on Microwave. Microwave, meanwhile, now is getting its own Greater Spire. And this is very, very tense here. Now we've got Microwave finally with the Zerglings up front. Oh, and we have Defilers out for Steamhammer. Not sure which spell would really help here, as Darksworm would maybe protect from the Mutalisks, but there's a large number of Zerglings there for Microwave and the drones burrowing to defend themselves here. Now the ballsy Devourer morph there, not really doing a whole lot. But now diving in a bit here, not really doing a whole lot of damage, and the Zerglings now being forced back. A large amount of Zerglings are out for Steamhammer. We've got, like, how many is 58 to 10 for Microwave. This is not looking good. Microwave was trying to take this third here, but it looks like Steamhammer is going to at least slow it down a bit. Meanwhile, now the Natural being overrun by a large number of Zerglings, and we do have a Dark Swarm coming down to protect the Zerglings and the Defiler. Actually, I think that was more in response to defend the to protect the Defiler there. The Natural now fallen for Microwave. This is looking like this is going to be Steamhammer's game here. Steamhammer cleaning up the third as well. But Microwave still has a number of resources here, but really it's the gas that it's going to be starved for now. Steamhammer not quite comfortable. Oh, and the dropping down a Spore Colony, or not a Spore Colony, sorry, a Swarm or two there. But that's actually going to hurt Steamhammer, because there's your own Swarm Colonies also protect the enemy. Now we've got a, what looks like it was a macro hatch being built after one of the bases was lost, being picked off. Now the Zerglings just charging in. We've got a little bit of Zergling tornado happening here. Drones trying to fight back the Zerglings, but there's just going to be way too many of them. Go ahead and up the speed just a little bit here. And the Swarm's coming down to protect the Zerglings from the one Mutalisk that's out. Now we've got another Devourer, I believe. And now the Zerglings trying to march in a bit. And just struggling a little bit, I think, because of the ramp, perhaps. And maybe even the number of Zerglings here. There we go. A nice plague going off, then the Zerglings running in to clean it up, with the Mutalisks following behind, and then now even an Ultralisk in the mix, and Microwave giving the GG. Very cool Zerg versus Zerg featuring the late game units. Let's go ahead and hop into our second game for the day. Game number 2 sees us with another mirror matchup. We've got Locutus spawning as the red Protoss up at the top right of La Mancha, going up against Banana Brain, spawning as the teal Protoss down at the bottom right. So, a couple interesting things here about this particular map, as well as the bridges make for some interesting decisions on how you're going to try and advance. Really, between these two start locations, I don't think... Well, this bridge might come into play eventually, but usually it's when you've got, like, the top two positions where this bridge becomes a big problem for the AIs trying to cross it, and when you're... Or if you've got these bottom positions, then this bridge can become a big fight to try and come across for the AI. Another interesting thing to note is that these bottom positions here, the gases are a bit more exposed than the top, because for the top positions, the gases are tucked in away from the ramps, whereas Here, it's just outwardly facing the ramp, so the gas, if you're under some early cheese and or early pressure, can be a little more effort to defend than, say, if you were at the top of the map. So, we have in our production queues here, saw Mulus there for a moment somehow, probably just an OpenBW bug there, because it wasn't updating this tab since I didn't have it open. But we have a Citadel of Adun coming down here for Locutus, so it looks like we, seeing that pretty fast is typically going to mean some sort of Dark Templar play. But there was a probe in there for Banana Brain who did see that Citadel coming down. And so we do have the robotics facility. It looks like we are getting, I would bet after that finishes, we will most likely see an observatory. But now we are seeing 4 gateways come down for Locutus. So it looks like that may have been an intentional feint there for Dark Templar. Okay, you've got a probe running around scouting me. See the Citadel of Adun? Now I'm gonna kill it and switch into 4 gate. So it does cost a little bit more because you basically are making a Citadel Adun that you have no intention of using for a little while, but you have forced the robotics facility and observatory now. And your opponent has just got at their 2nd gate, and it is time to move out. And we do see that they are taking the path that involves this bridge, so the bridge, if this game goes long, could start to play a factor. But Banana Brain does have the high ground advantage here and does have at least a zealot that is body blocking for the Dragoons. The Dragoons being pulled out a little bit though, giving up their high ground advantage. Now trying to regroup onto this ramp here. We do have the robotics, or the robotics bay, I think that is, that allows the Reavers to be produced. So nice transition, you know, going, you know what, alright, you're forcing me to get this observatory quickly. Might as well go ahead and just get Reavers. And now Banana Brain trying to see if it could poke down the ramp a little bit, but the Dragoon numbers are very high for Locutus. Locutus coming into the main here, probably not the best decision, but Banana Brain getting a very nice concave there and able to force this back. Locutus really needs to transition out of this 4 gate, I think, and it is now. Okay, good, it is getting its natural. And really just keep Banana Brain on 1 base for as long as you can. Banana Brain, it looks like, is sending down a gas probe to try and take this base here. Does get the Nexus started, going to push this army back. Doesn't want to wander too far up there because of the Reaver, but ultimately going to be repelled. Lost a few too many Dragoons there in that exchange. And really they're on equal gateways now, it looks like. So it looks like Banana Brain coming out ahead a little bit, I would say, as it does have the tech advantage of the Reavers. We still don't have a Templar Archives for Locutus at this point, so that Citadel is still just sitting there not used. I don't think we have leg speed either, it looks like, so going to be in a bit of a position here. Naturals are done, finishing up a little bit earlier for Locutus. Locutus getting its assimilator there. Banana Brain now populating its its natural base here. Locutus still being a bit unsure, able to pick off that Reaver there once it got vision around the corner. But now Banana Brain pushing Locutus back across this bridge, getting a few stray Dragoons that were wanting to go around the long way. Now Banana Brain trying to get across this bridge. I don't know if I like that. You could happily just sit here and protect this path. Losing a few Dragoons, not really making progress here. Getting off at least a Reaver shot there. And then a second one, getting a Dragoon. Does manage to push across the bridge now. Locutus not really using that choke point to its advantage, but getting a nice little concave there for some good Dragoon kills. But still being forced back because there is the threat of those Reavers dropping and getting some nice shots all the way up to the natural. Gonna have to try and defend it. Meanwhile, with this push, I love it. Banana Brain going ahead and taking a 3rd base. That's always good to, well, not always, but it is often good to expand behind your push because your push defends your expansion. Locutus did get a 3rd here, but it's not populated, so Banana Brain choosing to continue to engage with the army here with this choke available to it instead of trying to get across this bridge. being forced back now, though, by the superior Dragoon numbers, and I think one of the shuttles getting picked off and then the second shuttle getting picked off, so losing those Reavers is a pretty huge deal here. Locutus's Dragoon army now being able to push this back, and then what are the upgrades like? Locutus does have the armor and the ground attack upgrades that Banana Brain does not. And that might be part of what is helping Locutus's army push this back, but now they're joined by a new Reaver. The Dragoon's kind of clumping up right around here and just falling to the Reavers. The Reaver getting picked off, though, before that shuttle could pick it up. I don't think this army is really going to be able to push into this natural and should probably back off a little bit, but might be able to. The Locutus or Banana Brain's army is looking a bit smaller than I thought it would at this point. Just 4 Dragoons here now. Now 5th one, but now down to 4 because another one falls, and now Locutus deciding to fall back here to the bridge. Gonna go ahead and re-engage. We do have another Reaver here that's gonna be help Banana Brain to push this back. Banana Brain also taking this bottom left expansion. So really these two, and also now Locutus is going ahead and taking this base, and looks like it's going to go ahead and take this top left as well. So each AI just taking their sides of the map respectively while continuing this macro and this back and forth push and pull here. But Locutus did get the Templar Archives, probably for the upgrades, but we don't have any tech coming out of the Templar Archives, so no High Templar. Oh, and another Reaver getting picked off here, the shuttle retreating. And now Locutus getting in some good shots here, still with the upgrade advantage. It looks like Banana Brain trying to mix in some Zealots to get Zealot speed. Locutus meanwhile going pure Dragoon and doing very effective, being very effective with it. It looks like Locutus got Templar Archives for the ability to upgrade beyond 1/1, and it is not taking advantage of that, and losing a few Dragoons here because of the pathing issues with this bridge. Some of the units, when they're bumping into each other, deciding to try and go the long way, which just takes them right into Banana Brain's army. So now Banana Brain working his way across this bridge again. One Dragoon wandering the long way around here. Although it might actually find its expansion here. Taking a couple of shots on some probes, but not really going to be able to do much, getting a couple of probe kills. Meanwhile, Banana Brain's army does make its way across the bridge successfully here. Banana Brain picking off that stray Dragoon. And now Banana Brain threatening again at the natural of Locutus. Getting a nice arc there. Oh, and now we've got Storm coming in from Banana Brain. Very nice. And I don't think Locutus is going to be able to push this back. The Reavers are nice and back and not snipeable at the moment. And the Dragoon numbers are just falling very quickly for Locutus. The production tab out of control. Banana Brain going for the tech switch to carriers here. 3 Reavers at the front just dealing massive damage. Locutus's Dragoons falling almost as soon as they're built. This is looking like Banana Brain's game here. The natural falling. Carriers are now out on the map for Banana Brain. And with the natural done, Banana Brain, instead of going and destroying the production center of Locutus, going to go ahead and try to take out the rest of the economy. The Dragoons just freely giving themselves to Banana Brain's army here. And now they're fighting, but it looked like they were trying to get into this base to defend it, but Banana Brain's army was just in between, and now Banana Brain getting a few more free kills there while Locutus's army was trying to position and not firing. It's like these Dragoons here are going to try and keep this busy while this little pack of army here takes out the bases. Locutus just not able to push down. They're on equal upgrades here, I believe. Looks like Locutus has actually 2 attack before Banana Brain. But Banana Brain getting some free shots again while the army just kind of passes by these units, which is a bit of a problem. Banana Brain going to go ahead and clean up the rest of these. Nice Storm taking some workers out. The Templar living to see another day. Going to go ahead and come down here to this middle base. cleared out. Meanwhile, Banana Brain just getting all the free kills on these Dragoons here. If we were watching this sort of remastered, I'd love to check out the kill count on these Dragoons. Just not fighting back at all. That seems like a bit of a problem with Locutus's logic there. And now the army of Banana Brain coming in to finish up this the production hub. Large number of Reavers here. Some nice Reaver shuttle action going on from Banana Brain. I go ahead and clean this up. Very well played game by both of them. Locutus doing a lot with just pure Dragoon there, but in the end, the tech wins out. Let's hop into game 3. So here we have on destination TSC Mu P2 spawning as the green Protoss up at the top of the map, and AI Lien spawning as the orange Zerg down at the bottom. I'll probably just be saying Alien just for the ease of saying its name. It looks like we've got a quick... Just gonna get the pylon. Yep, okay, so nothing unusual going on there. So, story about TSC Mu P2 and why it has the 2 moniker there. If I'm remembering properly, for a period of time on the SSCAIT ladder, TSC Moop was having some issues with launching games, and I think it had something to do with its read and write old directory. There was thoughts that maybe one of them had got too large or something like that, and in the end, the author of TSC Moop tried a few different things to get the bot working. In the end, what worked was just uploading it again as a whole new bot. So with that, we are able to get the Protoss dedicated TSC Moop back on the ladder under the name TSC Moop 2. So it looks like both AIs are going for fast expansions. We do have the spawning pool coming down, so it looks like we're in now the 3rd hatchery. For Alien, TSC Moop getting a cannon here before the Nexus, I think. Or actually the Nexus, yeah, I think the cannon was started before the Nexus. Now we're getting another cannon here. So we're not getting, it looks like a gateway up at the front, at least not yet. We're going ahead and mining this back out, which is, well, you're only doing it with 1 worker, so maybe it's okay to start that now, but probably not the best idea when your defense is static and only at the front of your natural. Here the cannons have finished. These Zerglings could run by if they wanted to, but going to choose to not do so. Now more Zerglings joining the front here with just 3 cannons defending it. We do have the gateway done though. The cybernetics core is underway. It looks like a 4th hatchery is on the way along with a lair for Alien. So Alien getting a good amount of macro ready to go while also getting a little bit of tech on the side. TSC Moop getting the Citadel of Adu. So it looks like we'll see some Dark Templar potentially come out here, or some Quick High Templar. Adding a few more cannons based on the number of Zerglings that it's seeing. There is the Templar Archives. It looks like we have backed off from mining out this middle part here. And trying to build something out. They're a little bit strange to see. Probe trying to make an escape, maybe to take this expansion over here based on the mineral count, but getting immediately caught by the Zerglings. In this case, with the way the AI is behaving, it might actually be a smart play to mine out this ramp here and go ahead and take this as a mineral only. Looks like that would not be scouted for some time. So, oh, and the Dark Templar are out now. Getting all the Zergling painless hugs, as they can't actually attack it, and just racking up the kill count here as there's no detector available. The detector is slowly coming in, but the Dark Templar getting a lot of kills up to that point. And now breaking free of the map. We've got more Dark Templar coming out. Looks like we don't have the minerals for the expansion at the moment, so we're not going in and taking it while our... Oh, okay, there is the probe going over. We do have Mutalisks out, which can sort of catch the Dark Templar when there is a detector around, but the Overlords are still moving slow. We actually already have our Hive and are getting our Greater Spire already, but now we do have a Dark Templar attacking this oddly placed hatchery here out on the other side of the ramp. Or sorry, not of the ramp, of the bridge. Backing off now that an Overlord is there to detect it. So that's something that you'll see AIs do sometimes. Some strangely placed buildings. Depends on what they're using for their building placement. If they are doing the building placement that the API provides by default, you'll see some strange things like that over time. TSC MUP going ahead and expanding again. But now we've got Guardians causing some problem, and we have no Corsair out. Dragoon trying to take on these Guardians here. Not really using the ground to their advantage to be able to get shots off. Oh, and one Guardian does get caught. Now we have more. We have probes everywhere. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's a bit strange to see. I think they were trying to do a transition and kind of like running because of the Guardians perhaps, but yeah, there's just a lot of traffic on the minimap and in this area, and it's mostly probes. So nice pick off there. The Overlords do have speed now. The Guardians focusing on getting workers here. Pretty cool to see. Got a decent amount of probe kills there. Now we do have an Ultralisk Cavern on the way for Alien. Reaver getting that hatchery, and then Guardian and Zergling's going to get and push that Reaver back. We've got another Naked Reaver here out in the middle of the map. Guardian catching another probe kill there. But TSC Moo's army is a little bit more coalesced than Aliens, so being a little bit more effective, it looks like. But now these Zerglings finding this attempted expansion, but now we've got carriers out for TSC Moop. And all the Scourge dive on this carrier, barely surviving it. Another Reaver is going to fall, though. TSC Moop wanting to keep this expansion, wanting it to finish up, going ahead and getting the assimilator before the Nexus finishes. Meanwhile, Alien taking a couple more bases for itself as well. TSC Moop trying to out-expand Alien at this point. Still has not taken this back mineral only. And these Overlords kind of trapped up here in this corner of the map. But now this expansion that TSC Moop was trying to guard being overrun while trying to defend this base over here on the right. These Reavers trying to trudge along here, getting some nice Zergling kills. Very nice Reaver shots there up at the top left of the screen. But it's too little, too late, as this base, the Nexus, has fallen. Carriers trying to take out some of the Overlords that are scattered about the map a bit here. And now it looks like this right middle base has been denied as well. So we're trying to take this left middle base again. A carrier just fell somewhere. Probably this one that was over here that had taken all those Scourge shots and was highly damaged. Nice Reaver shots there, helping to keep the Zergling numbers low. We do have Corsair finally coming out now for TSC Moop. Got a lot of orange movement here though from Alien trying to stop and forcing the cancel there on that Nexus on the right. While also looking to attack this, but not quite having the army to do it. There's mostly Overlords over there with a few Zerglings. So it's looking like Alien is doing an okay job of keeping TSC Moop from taking these expansions or at least establishing them for too long. This left base, though, is usually able to get up for a little bit. Large number of Zerglings there. Dark Templar are back in play, getting trapped by its own probe. Now, Alien able to sort of push into TSC Moop territory here, but quickly being forced back, not having anything to really deal with these carriers at the moment. Oh! Nice, that carrier getting picked off by both the Devourer and then the Scourge coming in to finish the job. And now Alien is focusing on this mid-left base, going to force it to fall again. Wondering what the upgrades are looking like here. A lot of different upgrades here. It looks like we've got one across the board for Alien. Meanwhile, TSC Moop does have 3 air attack, 2 ground attack, but Alien is forcing its way. The Zerg swarm is swarming, taking out bases now in TSC Moop's territory. Forcing the army back, just doesn't have the splash damage on the ground anymore, it looks like. But will these cannons cause a problem? TSC Moop long distance mining these minerals over here instead of getting a nexus for it. Cannons being overrun by the Zerglings. And it looks like this is going to be the end. They are the Cracklings. They do have the increased attack speed at this point. Now rushing into the main. The cannon's just not going to be able to hold this back. There is a Reaver out on the field again now, though. Oh, very nice shot there by the Reaver. Would love to see it get another shot like that off. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. The Reaver getting overrun. May not have had a Scarab in it. At this point, the Zerg, the Overmind, has overrun the stalwart Protoss. And it's looking like it's going to be the game for Alien. So, very interesting non-meta play here from the AIs. But pretty cool to see. And with that, TSC Moop is going to tap out and give the win to Alien. And I believe we have time for one more game today. So let's go ahead and hop into it. For our final game today, we have Pineapple Cactus spawning at the top of, again, Destination as the beige, I guess you would call it, Zerg. Going up against, finally, we have a Terran player here today, Ice Lab, which I don't think we've seen in a while in a replay. Spawning as the yellow Terran down at the bottom. So super, super quick SCV scout coming out here. Well before even the first building was placed. So very, very early. Pineapple Cactus going ahead and sending its Overlord down there to eventually get down there and scout. Pulling a lot of drones off. This is going to hurt quite a bit. So this early scout doing some damage that it really should not do here. There should not be 5 workers chasing this SCV. You know, one of the things that as a player you kind of have to learn is, you know, what is the appropriate amount of force with which to respond to your opponent doing something cheesy. Like if if you're playing against a Protoss and the opponent places a manor pylon, how many workers should you really be pulling off of minerals to fight that manor pylon? Or if they take your gas, how many workers should you be devoting to attack that gas? And it's very easy to overreact and commit too many workers to that task of clearing that thing that should not be in your base. And it looks like Pineapple Cactus is going to devote some drones to try and clear this space here as well. It's interesting to see what happens as it clears. It might just be thinking that these minerals are a part of this base and trying to mine from them, just based on the drone behaviors when they clear one of the mineral stacks there. But we are seeing again that sort of overcommittal of drones trying to clear out that scout. But it seems to have finally settled down a little bit here. Ice Lab going to see, okay, there's this expansion here. seeing the spawning pool coming down pretty late, given that 5 workers were off of minerals for so long. For pineapple cactus, you're going to have that. And now we've got the nicely timed zerglings, it looks like, all popping at just about the same moment. And catching that scout away. Now we've got zerglings coming down for pineapple cactus. This expansion coming down. Oh, and the marines down just in time to go ahead and take and defend this, and going and throwing down a bunker as well. Pineapple cactus taking mineral only in the back as its third. And going ahead and getting a few more, a few more, because I saw 2 in production, but one of them is the expansion, the other is a macro hatch, as well as getting the hydralisk done, so we might see some lurker play going on here. We did hear a comsat scan going off for some scouting. We've got a large number of factories, now jumping up to 4 factories all at once, 4 ice labs. So we're going to see some strong mech play come out. I'm not sure if pineapple cactus has seen that with this overlord or not. It did poke into the base a bit, but now is falling back. Have hydralisks out. We're not getting lurker aspect, looks like. We are getting our lair now, though, at the natural. Heard a hydralisk. Oh, okay, there's a random refinery here. Not sure what that's about, but that's going to go ahead and fall. Not exactly sure why that was built and placed, but there it was, and there it went. And we've got an SCV that is holding some Vespine gas, trying to take out this hatchery and be the hero it wants to be, but going to be forced out of there by a lone zergling. Got ice lab with the 2 nice high ground usage here by the siege tanks. These ones in the back maybe not going to have quite as much range as the ones up at the front, but these ones having the high ground advantage will be able to stop anything from cracking that natural. Meaning the Zerg is going to need to take this into a late game if it wants to do anything, or if it had some Mutalisks. This is wide open for Mutalisk harass. No turrets in the main. Nice unload and reload of the bunkers there by the Marines. And now Pineapple Cactus trying to take this third. Very, very exposed. Does get found by Pineapple. Will Pineapple go in and... it looks like Pineapple Cactus is not going to take it out. Ice Lab is moving some units now forward to defend this third. So going to be able to keep that. The tanks completely abandoned the high ground there at the natural. But Pineapple Cactus's army, not quite enough to clear out this Terran force here. But now the Mutalisks diving in on this, stopping the, or killing the SCV just before that command center can finish, taking a few shots off on it. But then backing off, diving back in, sniping the SCV again. Oh, that would be so annoying as a player. The mech army trying to move across this middle here. There is a burrowed unit here hiding. Barely still alive at the moment. I'm wondering how long that's going to be. A nice, interesting circle being formed by the tanks here. There was a Goliath up on that right side base there trying to... Yeah, the Zerglings just dying before they can even reach the tanks. Just this line of blood here from the Zerglings. Even the high ground Zerglings not able to do much of anything. That burrowed unit is long gone now. We do have lurkers out now into Defilers, it looks like. Defilers might be what save it here. The splash damage from the tanks will still be able to cause problems. This is Defiler coming across the bridge, not able to do anything there. And then that Defiler being forced to burrow. We do have some with a few bits of energy here. Running up to the tanks, not doing anything though. I don't think this mech push is quite going to be able to burst this natural because of the bridges there. But we could see His third get broken. But no, it looks like this is going to get pushed back. The lurkers moving in. These tanks just being left to hang. Zerg able to bust out, and we do see Dark Swarm yet again coming into play from the Zerg player. This base is going to fall though, so the army kind of pulled back into this high ground expansion here to clear it out, but that kind of left those tanks there to fall, which is really going to hurt the strength of the Terran army. But now the Terran trying to come back up here. The Goliath's not going to be able to do anything to this Hydralisk here. And now the Hydralisk steps out of the swarm and going to fall. These units not going into the swarm. Being taken out by the Terran's mechanical army. Looks like this space not being re-established yet. Ice Lab going in and taking this space was able to get this a little bit. Did have a an add-on there, but the command center itself ended up getting cleared out. This base though was taken. It looks like we're still doing some long distance mining here and not re-establishing the command center. I wonder if this neutral add-on is causing some problems for Ice Lab's logic. And again, we've got no tanks on the field, so these Goliaths just kind of fruitlessly firing into the swarm there. But now the swarm is gone and the lurkers are exposed. That lurker finally falling. And there we go. I was going to say, this needle is not firing on the science vessels that had swarmed on top of that lurker there. And another swarm going down. I'm going to go ahead and protect the Devourer. We do have a consume that one off, I just heard. And the mech army kind of standing its ground here against the Zerg, as the Zerg doesn't have a lot of units here at the moment. Its army is kind of spread out among different tech. And not in very large numbers, but now able to push this Terran army back to its natural. And I don't know if it's really going to be able to crack this natural if there are tanks on the high ground. Because again, that splash damage will eat through the bug defenses of the Dark Swarm there. Did lose a turret, but able to withstand the onslaught of the Zerg. There is a lot of Zerg movement on the minimap just now. Large transfer of drones happening in addition to all of this army in the middle now. This is the swarming army that Pineapple Cactus really needed, but really it needs to be concentrating on these other bases. This one is now shut down. This one is still long distance mining. And there's this mineral only here. If Pineapple Cactus can keep Ice Lab from getting resources, then this game will be won by Pineapple Cactus for sure. This base is falling, and a lot of workers keep falling for Ice Lab as well due to this long distance mining. Some of them are going up to that base and being taken out, and now we have Pineapple Cactus swarming in here, mostly ignoring the neutral add-on here. There is a lurker that is taking it out, and now we're getting into this mineral only as we have another push into this natural as well. So the push into the natural kind of keeping Ice Lab busy while the rest of the army takes out the bases. And now we've got the coming around from the back ramp here that had been mined out. This Hurgling swarming in, focusing though on the factory instead of diving in on these tanks. So not being quite as effective as it could have been, but that was pretty awesome to see. I think that was happening just because of the army positioning, but still pretty cool all the same. Ice Lab trying to take this base again over here on the left, but not being able to, as it really can't defend anything except for this natural currently. Pineapple Cactus now having taken this mid-right, gathering its overlords at the mid-left for some reason, having some sort of overlord conference it looks like, trying to determine if the work conditions being provided by the Overmind are actually all that worth it. Maybe the health benefits are pretty good there. Gonna need it with this onslaught from the tanks here, but there are, with no Goliaths out, there isn't a radiant going down. These Valkyrie, actually there is one Goliath, and these Valkyrie could be protecting these tanks, but they're not doing anything. They're just hovering around this Goliath. So the tank number, this is gonna be the Hero Mutalisk here. Slowly whittling down the tanks. It looks like they do have good armor, or at least their armor level 1, so it will take a little bit for this Mutalisk to work its way through. But yeah, the one bunker falls. Now this bunker's going to fall. Ice Lab is out of money. Still, though, a lot of Zerg blood being spilled here in the natural. And now working their way, this factory having been repaired is getting the last guard for this tank, but the Mutalisk clearing the tank out. And now Pineapple Cactus going to be free to just sort of swarm in here. I'm not sure why a chunk of the army is just kind of chilling out here in the natural, but yep, and there we go. Now that army is deciding to go and swarm into the main here. So very well played game by both of these AI. Very strong tank army in the beginning and that initial push by Ice Lab, but sort of left the tanks undefended while it moved to another expansion to clear out. And once it lost that tank dominance, it just never was really able to establish itself again with that same level of domination. So very well played, and we've been seeing a lot of Dark Swarm action from the Zergs lately, which is just great to see. Great list of games here overall. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, remember, you can continue to recommend games to us on the SSCAIT Discord, which will be linked in the description below. Again, thank you for your time. We'll see you next week. Until then, take care, everyone.